Pirates and bounty hunters in the Star Wars universe are some of our favorite characters, but here are a couple that you may not have known exist. Getting started off with the bounty hunter Caij Vanda, who was first introduced in Jedi Survivor. And after tracking down Jedi Knight Cal Kestis to Kobo, she deceived him by posing as a former bounty hunter who wanted to get revenge on the Haxian Brood Syndicate. By tricking Kestis and the Brood Hunters into fighting each other, which inevitably resulted in every hunter being sent after Kestis dead, Vanda drove up the price on Kestis' bounty before trying to turn it in herself. And she was a very successful bounty hunter who was hired by numerous criminal syndicates, even killing one of Sork Tomo's hitman, and if you didn't know, he was the leader of the Haxian Brood. And Vanda had accrued many debts, something that only a hunt with a sizable price could pay off, so her ticket to freedom would be Cal Kestis, as she was a capable gunslinger and she dual-wielded blaster pistols, and she overall enjoyed the thrill of bounty hunting, and she utilized rocket boots to achieve flight. And her blaster pistols had electrified bayonets that were capable of deflecting lightsaber blades, and for desperate situations, Vanda also kept at least one thermal detonator on her for a suicide attempt so that way her bounty couldn't be turned in. Of course, we all know she meets her end when she was captured by Boba Fett in Jedi Survivor, and I definitely think we need more characters like this in the Star Wars universe, mysterious bounty hunters who lie in the back of the saloon and give missions to our main character. But nonetheless, Caij Vanda is a cool bounty hunter, and I would like to see more of her in the Star Wars universe. The next bounty hunter is Sidon Ethano, or better known as the Crimson Corsair, the Blood Buccaneer, the Red Raider, or the Silent Scourge of the Lost Clusters. He is a legendary bounty hunter, and he discovered the remains of the downed Obrexta III, a ship that had been in service in the Confederacy of Independent Systems exactly 50 years prior during the Clone Wars, and he raided it under the assumption that he would find valuable kyber crystals that once belonged to Count Dooku. Instead, they found the Galactic Republic clone trooper named Kix, the last clone alive in the galaxy, who had been frozen in stasis, and the locations of a former Separatist base, which isn't all that bad. The Crimson Corsair had a valuable reputation across the galaxy, and he was even one of the main sellers to the pirate Kagan Gore, and he sold him a bunch of vintage B1 super battle droids during the time of the Resistance era, which is super interesting because B1 battle droids at that time are very old, so I would definitely like to know where he got those. But nonetheless, Ithano would often let his reputation lead him to victory, simply ordering target vessels to lower their shields and change direction. You are in contact with the Crimson Corsair. This order was not one that any starship crew wished to hear, inducing fear into those who heard the order via the ship's comm unit, simply telling them, if you fight me, you will lose. And that is Sidon Ethano. We definitely need to know more about this character. He only really appears in Star Wars Resistance and The Force Awakens, and with him having such a legendary reputation across the galaxy, we need to hear more about his stories and adventures. This next character we know very little about, Lens Camo. A dedicated student to history and a professional treasure hunter formerly employed by the cybernetics mogul Baron Yatsu Atsmoon. And she went treasure hunting with the sole purpose of getting artifacts out of sights without harming them, and she kept them out of the reach of destructive collectors by any means necessary. I definitely think what makes this character cool is obviously her outfit and power suit, and I would definitely like to know more about where she got it, the meaning behind it, and more about her tactics. But I definitely think in the Star Wars universe we need more treasure hunters, and Lens Camo is on the short list of characters that need to be expanded. The next Star Wars character is Giona, who was a pirate associated with the information broker Sid Scaleback. And she had plenty of adventures with the Bad Batch, and when Fi inspected Omega's compass and discovered the coordinates to the Kaldar Trinary system, which was an uncharted system, Giona was enthusiastic about going. Accompanied by the clones, Giona traveled to the system and found the Heart of the Mountain, a valuable crystalline artifact, which actually ended up being the key to activating Skara Nal, a dangerous ancient walker and super weapon. Shortly after, Vi and the Bad Batch went to her homeworld of Pabu on the remote island and introduced them to the mayor, Shep Hazard, showing a little bit more of her lighter side and showing up her upbringings. She also had an interest for tech, but nonetheless, I think Fijiona is a cool pirate in the Star Wars universe, and I would love to see more adventures with Vi. Last on the list isn't going to be a singular person, but a faction, the Veiled Sorority, which was a secretive and matriarchal pirate organization that operated in the Outer Rim territories during the last years of the Galactic Republic and Imperial period. The organization was ruled by a pirate queen who was elected among a council of captains and advisors that were only females. And the queen got to keep her identity a secret and wore an elaborate mask in public, which gives them their distinctive look. The Veiled Sorority also kept a lot of anonymity, avoiding drawing attention from the authorities and essentially only attacking other criminals. During the Galactic Civil War, they decided to take on the Zon Consortium, and the pirates were traditionally ignored by the rebellion in the Empire, but problematic for several criminal organizations such as the Hud Clan, the Black Sun, and the Pike Syndicate. Finally, the Veiled Sorority makes a small appearance in the Battle of Exegol when one of their members joins in. We definitely need to know more about the Veiled Sorority, and it even surprises me that Fijiona isn't a part of it. But they have very cool armor and a lot of cool lore and background to them. All they need is a live action appearance or more of the spotlight on them in the Star Wars universe. So with that, those are some pirates and bounty hunters that you may not have known existed in the Star Wars universe. Subscribe if you would like, and until next video, goodbye.